Hello guys, my name is Zidane. I'm a student at Persada Indonesia University. Today I want presentation about how to read the research. Introduction. 1. Why read? The importance of reading for research. 2. Coping with the research literature, dealing with the volume and variety of reading available. 3. Basic reading strategies, guidance on what and where to read. 4. Using libraries, how to get the best out of them. 5. Using the internet, navigating the universe of information. 6. Good enough reading, how to read. 7. Reading about methods as well as subjects, the importance of understanding and exploring research approach and technique use. 8. Recording your reading, being multi-choice. 9. The literature review, how to put it together. 10. Issues in reading problem with too much or too little literature. Why read? It is impossible to carry out research without engaging in much direct reading. Thus, it would be unusual to do so without any new reading. This may happen, for example, where the constraints on the time available do not allow for much reading, or where the method and context are familiar, or where the research involved are being employed simply to administer questionnaires or carry out interview for someone else. Coping with the research literature. But the new research may feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of this demand for quite a long time. You may be concerned about 1. The volume of literature. The amount of material written on most subjects is already out and expanding at an ever-increasing rate. How does the research get to the grips with this? 2. The variety of literature. There are so many kinds of literature: textbooks, journal, magazines, newspaper, policy document, academic papers, conference papers, internet materials, internal reports, novels, and anything which may be relevant. How does the research use the range of source? 3. Lack of boundaries. Unless a project is very tightly defined, it may be impossible to judge which areas of the literature are relevant. How does the research avoiding reading widely or lazy? 4. Conflicting arguments. As soon as you start reading, you are likely to be confronted by different opinions, arguments, and interpretation. It may seem that not two writers agree about even the most basic issues. How does the research assess this argument and place themselves within them? Where to read? The obvious place to read, at least up until the last few years, may seem to be the library, particularly if you are doing a research project in an academic setting. Libraries come, of course, in different guises. They may be what-training or specialist research, general or academic in function for reference only, or available for borrowing. These last distinctions highlight a critical point that of access. What to read? The short answer to the question of what to read has to be to read as much and as many different kinds or sorts of text as possible. This will enable you to encounter a range of views and forms of presentation within the different kind of writing appropriate to your topic. Whom to read? Faced with a bookshelf containing 20 or 30 books on the same topic, or decades of dozens of journals, it can be very difficult to decide where to start. You might choose one volume at random or take a more considered view. Perhaps selecting the most recent book written published in your country. In doing so, it is important to be aware of whom you are reading, where they are coming from, how authoritative a voice they have, and what their motivation in reading might be. How to find what you need to read. If you are a researcher tackling an unfamiliar field of study for the first time, you need to be able to get to grips with the relevant literature as quickly as possible. Your aim should be to become familiar with the key texts on your subject area, and to supplement this understanding with a broader and more selective reading around the topic. That's all for this presentation about how to research part 1. Thank you for your attention.